Hello, my friend, and welcome to today's episode number 114 questions to ask yourself in your PCOS life. Now, many PCOS women have a lot of weird questions about PCOS, like why do we have PCOS? Why don't other women have PCOS? Why am I the one who's suffering? When will I be skinny? When will I be normal? Why am I not normal? Why is my life so hard? So there are many PCOS women who have these sort of negative questions, and they're asking themselves this question either unconsciously, subconsciously, or consciously in groups and platforms and forums. But the thing with negative questions is that it will give you negative answers. And in this episode, we are going to talk about all the questions that can give you some positive answers. So let's get started. I want to first give you an update about what's happening in my life. Well, it is the day I'm recording. This is 21st February, 2024. So I don't know when you'll be listening to this, but it's supposed to be winter here, but I think the summer has already started. And I'm wearing this sweater top. It's really hot. So it sucks that the winter is almost over and this house like really heats up. And I'm gonna regret having this house. Like I need to have air conditioning on all the time because it's like really hot in here. Apart from that, I gained some weight because I had guests come over this time, and I was like literally eating and drinking every night. And it was basically my family members had come over, and every time we are in India with our family members, we would like eat and drink a lot, like every night at least. So I continued doing that over here, and I was actually checking my weight every day. So I saw myself gain the weight every day. Because when I'm back home or on vacation, I don't check my weight every day. I just check when I come back, and I'm like, I'll see 2 kilos more. When I come back to normal, it will come back to normal in like a week or two. But for me, I've been seeing that like I've gained 1 kilo and now it's taking some time, but I am getting down there. There's still urges to continue eating all that flour and sugar based foods, but I'm managing my mind. I'm coming back to my journal and I'm doing the process which I teach, and it's working. So that's what's happening with me. Now, let's start with today's episode, and I want to like emphasize like this the episodes, the educational material which I'm going to teach is going to be exclusive mindset focused, because when I started this podcast, it used to be like whatever I understood when it comes to mindset coaching, I was teaching that. But at the same time, I was giving a lot of action based physician input. Whatever research I did on nutrition and exercise, I would talk about that. And now I'm exclusively basing my topics on what my coach taught me. Like what she taught me, I want to teach you. So I'm like literally picking up episodes from her podcast and like refining it in a way where PCOS women can benefit from that information. I want you all to know that your thoughts create your results. Like it took me a very long time because of the kind of education system that I have been through. My brain was really not wired that way. But many people's brains are wired that way. And maybe it might come very easily for you to understand that your thoughts create your results. And like, do you have the awareness that your thoughts are actually creating your results? So that's all we do in coaching. We just show the client when whatever problem they have is like, okay, there is a thought that you're holding on to, which is creating that result. And can we change that thought? So, whenever we are asking ourselves negative questions, what's happening is we get negative answers. And unfortunately, those negative answers will create negative realities. We need those positive sentences in our mind, as these sentences will create positive outcomes. Negative sentences, negative outcome. Positive sentences, positive outcome. So, for me, when it comes to questions, I always thought questions were like something to be memorized. Like I really associated questions with answers. Like I still remember we used to have these guides. So whatever textbook we would have in school, like, and then there was a guide. And like I think in my sixth or seventh standard, I started realizing the teacher was like literally teaching from the guide. Like some of them would literally open the guide and teach us. I was like, what sort of, why are they doing that? We can do that on our own. But that's what was happening. And then I was like, I don't really need to be so attentive in the class because they're just like reading it out. And I started memorizing it myself. Now, there were questions there and then there were answers. I needed to learn these answers by heart. And I needed to just reciprocate those answers in the exams. That was the education system which I grew up in. We were never asked to think for ourselves. I don't remember anyone asking me to think for myself. And unfortunately, that sort of thinking, that sort of educational system continued for me in my medical career as well. So we had to memorize a lot of things like anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pharmacology is full of cramming up things. Pathology was a little bit of understanding. Forensic was like fun. There was like something story like happening. There was some exciting things happening there. But overall, everything was in medicine is it comes down to memorizing, how good you are at memorizing things. Even the treatment plans that were offered, even when the treatments keep evolving with time, we still had to memorize it so that we can say that in the exam and then get our qualifications. So I rarely questioned anything which was told to me that you need to learn this. So I just memorized it. And I really didn't know that my brain could answer questions on its own. I really barely did that. But then I always had this sort of inclination towards self help. And I still remember like the first time I read the book Secret, I even remember where it was. I was literally in an ST bus on my way from from Borivali to Thana because I used to work with my father in Borivali in Mumbai. And then I didn't have my car or something. So I was going by this bus. And it was a nice winter night. So it was a pleasant weather. And I was reading through whatever light was there in the bus. I was reading this book, Secret. And I was like, what is she talking about? We can do this. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But I didn't stay with it because I got stuck into the negative thoughts. Like I started thinking that my negative thoughts will create negative reality, and I didn't know how to control it because the negativity was there. She didn't teach me that. But then I started listening to BK Shivani Brahmakumari, and I like literally binge her content on YouTube, and I was like, wow. I was like constantly absorbing a lot of that information. It was like very, very attractive to me. And eventually I found my coach Brooke, who said, every time I ask my brain a question, it goes to work to answer it. Like anytime you ask brain any question, it will come up with 10 answers. And that's what is happening unconsciously or subconsciously. And in coaching, questions are used as tools to change our lives. By asking high quality questions, empowering questions, we get creative and inspiring answers. So it's like our brain goes to work searching for the answers to what you're presented with. Now, who comes up with these questions, right? Like we can get these questions from other people, inspiring people, or we can come up with these questions ourselves. Our highest version, our highest brain, prefrontal cortex can come up with these questions. So you can challenge your brain to answer one great question every day if you want, or you can give yourself a set of questions that you can ask yourself repeatedly every day so that your brain gets really good in that area. I mean, that's what I do. I rarely ask myself one question because I'm like, come on, I like everything like too much. So I will ask a lot of questions to myself, but then I have to constrain myself. I'm like, okay, Rashmi, if you want to improve in this area, you need to answer this question. Like you can't put too many questions, otherwise you get overwhelmed and you don't do any of it. So I like come up with like some questions. I tell myself at least do these questions, right? So the food journal is something which I definitely try to do. When we ask ourselves high quality, empowering questions, our brain will come up with wonderful ideas. As long as we don't close the door of possibility by answering immediately, I don't know. Now, so many clients, if we ask them anything, they will be like, I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't know. And some of them, like just while talking, will say, I don't know so many times. And I remember this was like an American thing, I think, because I used to watch this show called Wonder Years. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It used to come on Star Plus in India, and it had these two kids, Kevin Arnold and his girlfriend. And it was like amazing show. It has so many memories. Like it was during my teenage years. It was teenage drama. And there was this character in it called Winnie Cooper. Anytime Kevin would ask her anything, she would be like, I don't know. Her answer for everything was like, I don't know. And then it was like, dun, dun, dun. Like, it was like so dramatic. I don't know, Kevin. So I thought that was pretty cool. I used to take notes from American shows and like, okay, this is how you speak American language, and this is how you speak English, and this is how you sound cool. I used to do that. I used to have a book full of that, and I've never told anyone this actually. So you're the only one who knows this. Like I used to have this book, and I used to learn how to speak American dialect by watching these shows because that was so cool. So she started that thing for me where it was like, I don't know. And I see that in so many of my American clients, they will use that in their language, like, I don't know. And it blocks us. That I don't know statement, it is actually a roadblock, and it blocks our brain from accessing answers. In coaching, I don't let my clients say, I don't know. They have to take a guess. I literally am like, force your brain to come up with an answer. I ask them, what if they knew? What would it be? Like, what do you think is an answer to this? Because we have to access that subconscious, right? Like, the brain has all the information. Sometimes it's hidden, it doesn't want to disclose it because it's too painful, but it has grasped all that information. We want all of that information to come out in the form of words. So don't take the answer, I don't know, right? Because that will just keep you confused. So suppose you ask yourself this question, why am I not losing weight? It's going to come up with a list of answers. Now, because it is this negative question, why am I not losing weight? The answers are probably going to be negative sentences like, I'm weak, I don't have willpower, I have poor genetics, I don't know what to do, nothing seems to work, I don't have the time, no one will support me. So, a lot of negative sentences, right? Like we need to clean up all of these sentences. When the brain gets these sentences, which it does unconsciously, it gets to work to prove them right, like a self fulfilling prophecy. Because if you think nothing works, so no matter what you do, your brain will never see the evidence of what is working. Or you think, I don't have time to lose weight, you will never make time to lose weight. No one will support me, you will stop supporting yourself, right? So it will create that self fulfilling prophecy. Now we need to really understand that these answers are not coming from the void, from the universe. There's no ghost who's coming and telling you these things. It's coming from your brain or your mind, something you saw on television, something you read, some movie you saw. It absorbed that information and it just kept on, and it internalized it. It started using that as like information to give interpretation of how to deal with situations. So all of that information is there in your brain. This is our unconscious thinking, which is making us feel bad, unfortunately. And guess what happens when we feel bad? When you think you're weak and it feels like so shitty, what we do, PCOS women, we go and emotionally eat because that feels bad to begin with. So there was a negative emotion already, some background, something which was troubling us. There is that, and then there is this that I'm weak. Club it together, and it's like, okay, the only way we can solve for that is by food. And we eat a lot. PCOS women eat a lot, and we eat all that junk food to feel better because of that shitty feeling that is coming from that thought, I'm weak, and all that junk food which we are like having every day so many times addictively has actually produced PCOS and is worsening our PCOS. So for us to clean up our PCOS or even reverse it, we need to examine all these negative sentences. And that's what we do in coaching. And at the same time, we practice intentional positive beliefs. So, what I ask my clients to do is like, we come up with a plan for the week. This is what you're going to do. Now, the agenda for the week is the client has to follow the plan. She has come up with a plan. Her brain has come up with a plan. I have helped her come up with that plan. Her higher self has come up with a plan, but in the moment, she doesn't want to do it. Now, when she doesn't want to do it, what's happening is we need to find out why is that happening? Why you don't want to do it? And then all these thoughts will come out. And then I take one thought at a time. And then I ask her, like, okay, how is this thought showing up in your reality? And then she sees that this thought is actually creating this issue. And once she sees that it's not PCOS, which is causing this problem, it's that thought, she slowly starts detaching from that thought. At the same time, we are practicing some new intentional beliefs. So if you're someone who's interested, please book a clarity call with me. Go to the link in bio and book there. But you can try this on your own. I want you to get started. And one of the best way to practice positive beliefs is by asking powerful, positive questions. Now, if you change the question to incorporate an empowering belief, you will come up with answers that are empowering. For example, if you have the belief, why am I not losing weight? You can change that question to like, how can I lose weight permanently and in a fun way at the same time? And you will likely come up with much more creative ways and wonderful ways that will help you move closer to your goal. This is what we do in our coaching. Like, I help my client get creative in like finding ways to find delicious, healthy, nutritious meals so they don't feel deprivation. They don't have to exercise because the food that they're eating is not that sort of high carb, is good fats, nutritious, good proteins, helps them lose weight, helps them feel energized because they're not using glucose anymore. They're using ketone bodies for energy. So for PCOS women, that is an answer. So think about this right now. Take a moment and see if you can identify any questions that you're asking yourself on a regular basis. You might even have one main question about your weight that you would want to examine. Now, my question for the longest time was like, what is wrong with me? I still have it actually. But like when it came to weight loss, I saw that there's something fundamentally wrong with me. And coaching helped me see that there was nothing fundamentally wrong with me. So I changed my question from what is wrong with me to like, how can I end my struggle permanently without exercise or without deprivation? And that helped me come up with a process that helped me lose weight and keep it off. I no longer fear gaining a little weight because I know I have a fun process to lose weight, a fun and an easy way to lose weight. And I engage the creative part in my brain so that I can make it simple for me to get back to eating healthy. Now, I have common questions that I ask myself in different areas of my life. So you can also pick any area: money, food, time, relationship, body, business, career. You ask these four main questions like, what is working? What is not working? What are my lessons learned today or in a week? And what will I do differently next time? So these are common questions, evaluation questions that you can use in any area where you want to progress. So I generally would pick, like, my brain would expect me to do it for all areas every day, as if like I have no life. But I tell my brain, okay, chill. Let's do one area which is hurting today. So I pick one topic each day and answer these four questions. When it comes to mindful eating, I have similar kind of questions that I ask myself. And if you are following me, you probably know these questions, but then I will let you know again in case you've not started asking yourself, what did I eat today? What worked with that meal? Did I eat beyond fullness? Was something bothering me when I started to eat something unhealthy or when I overate? And what will I do next time, tomorrow? Now, I don't ask myself what is not working. I avoid asking directly, as I know it will wake up the shame part in me who makes me feel so bad that I eat to suppress it, whatever she has created. So I don't want to trigger her. So I don't ask what is not working. So like I just like in my evaluation, I say that, this was not fun. Like today I had eggs and two sourdough toast with butter. And I had banana and mash. Like I felt really sleepy after that. But then I was like, that's pretty okay. Like I I want to continue doing that. Whereas yesterday I made these laddus, this power laddus. I was like, okay, go easy. And then I was like constantly having that. It's like yummy. So I decided yesterday that I'm not gonna have those power laddus. They will either be had in the morning or in the evening, not both times. So I got that information because I asked myself these questions and I answered them, right? So I placed these questions in a Google Sheet, which is like a spreadsheet, which is easily accessible. I don't like Microsoft because they're charging now, whereas Google Sheets is like easily available. Now, Google might have your information and I don't really care if they want my information. I just write a lot. I don't care who finds what from my journal, honestly. So I put it on Google Sheet and I answer these questions every day. I already have it ready. And if you want it, you can plug it in your Microsoft sheet or in your computer sheet, which is like not Google, wherever. If you want it, just DM me on my Instagram account at Dr. Rashmi Pawar underscore OBGYN underscore coach, and I'll send it over to you. So, in case you're not following me, please follow me on Instagram, where I come regularly and keep you committed to this work. Now, you have to give yourself around 5 to 10 minutes to answer these questions, and it should be enough to get you started. You need to do this work every day. Now, apart from this, there is a beautiful question that I always ask myself, which charges me up like this, and that is like, what were the positive aspects of yesterday? Now, everything in life is positive and negative, like everything. Every issue has two sides to it. You need to understand that. You need to be open enough to understand that there is a positive aspect to this particular thing that I'm worried about, right? So give your brain time to find positive aspects of your day. And whenever I ask my brain that question, it comes up with so many good things that happened like the day before. All those small wins count because like me writing those sentences helped me feel so accomplished, so good that I feel like I'm motivated, I'm committed, I'm good, I'm worthy, I'm amazing, right? So things like I woke up on time, or I was on time for every client, nobody had to wait, or I finished my admin work on time, or I got 7 hours of sleep. I got to spend the night in my own house. I used to not get to. I'm healthy. My nose is amazing. There are no more allergies. And this is just something which I'm telling you, but if I had the time, my brain would go on and on and on and on. Like it just is never ending because really life is 50-50. Half of the time it's really good. So your brain can also go on such a rampage for finding the positivity in your life. Those sentences will really charge you up. Now, after I've done this question where I found the positivity yesterday, I ask myself, what are the positive aspects of tomorrow? Now, here, I sort of have a mental rehearsal of step by step how I'm going to play out my next day. So my brain is getting instructions. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna wake up at this time. I'm gonna do this yoga, and I'm gonna take shower in this much time, and I'm gonna like do my self coaching. Then I'm gonna start coaching, and I'm gonna do this. Like each and everything is laid out ahead of time. And this is my magic trick of getting things done. I do most of it. Most of the things which I lay out like that, like what are the positive aspects of tomorrow, everything gets done, most of it, except for some things which I'm procrastinating on. But other things, it's like done, 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 right? So, what are the positive aspects of yesterday and what are the positive aspects for tomorrow or today, like wherever you're doing it? So, apart from these, you can ask yourself following questions with respect to PCOS. How can I reverse my PCOS? Such a better question than why am I having PCOS? What can I learn from my PCOS? right? There's like so much that we need to know about our PCOS, about our own condition. What is working in my PCOS life? What needs to be done so I keep myself insulin sensitive? What is the non medical solution to my PCOS problems? How can I have fun while I reverse PCOS? What can I do differently today? Which exercise is fun for me? What is awesome about going to bed early? This is my favorite one. I'm like, bed. How does eating healthy feel? So many of us have not eaten healthy for a very long time. And when you do that, are you curious to find out how does it feel? What is good about today? What would my life look like where I didn't think I was weak or I was not worthy, right? Like there is a parallel universe. I like to think of it this way. There is a parallel universe where I'm amazing. There is nothing wrong with me, where I really believe I'm awesome. You can access that reality now, right? What is important for me, not for others? What is important for me? What do I want, right? So now, to every answer that your brain offers, there is a very simple but profound question that you can follow it up with. You can always ask yourself, but why? Why do I think that way? Right? Sometimes it's hard to ask ourselves these questions, and hence we recommend people to get support in the form of coaching, because then I will ask you those questions. Because even if you can't ask yourself, because it's so uncomfortable, um, because we are like scared of the answers. So you can come on a session and the coach can hold that space and I can ask you those questions and you can feel safe to answer them, especially if you're trying to form new habits like reversing PCOS. Remember that you are in charge of how you feel, how you want to feel, and think always. You can anytime step into that authority that I get to decide what I want to think and believe in my life. Growth can come from any situation, right? Because of those questions: what worked, what didn't work, what will I do differently? Send your brain to work on solving problems. Allow your brain the chance to pause and respond without your help. You will have found the source of wisdom within you that you might otherwise not have known existed. So clean up your questions, keep them empowering. Don't let negativity slip in. Keep in mind, the higher the quality question, the higher is the quality answer. That's it for today, my friend. Now, if you want to get coached by me, please get supported by booking a clarity call with me where we can see how we can get started. And I ensure you that I will take you through a process where you will actually go through the whole weight loss journey while having fun, while getting creative, and without any deprivation, without any exercise. You don't have to exercise, really. So that is possible. All right. And that's it for today. I will see you next time. Bye bye.